Hello, Earthlings, and welcome back to the Thundering Dice channel with your boys, the Thundering Dice Brothers. And we are back on our Rings of Power evisceration, or possibly illumination is a better term for it, because it is the story versus the lore. The lore being Tolkien, the story being whatever the fudge Amazon decides to put on screen. So, Season 2, Episode 1 is a bit of retconning, sort of. Maybe not retconning, but we are seeing a backstory for Sauron / Halbrand that spans many thousands of years, him as an amorphous, venom creature that can eat people and then create a new fair form in his Halbrand persona. I love how as soon as someone says you could choose good every single day, he goes about and instantly chooses evil. All right. There are no questions about whether he's a good guy or a bad guy or a gray guy or a bad guy who wants to be good. Nah, he's just a fucking dick, and he wants to rule and control, it seems like, power over flesh.
Indeed, power over flesh.
And of course, we've got the ancillary characters that don't matter. We've got the Harfoots, well, not the Harfoots, we've got a Harfoot and then another Harfoot, and then we've got Gandalf doing nothing. They're just wandering in circles because Gandalf's not smart enough to figure that out. He's a real special, naive, young Gandalf, I suppose, with a gray beard. And then there are hundreds of miles away, but also no distance away at all, because Nori comes up. It's like, oh, you haven't traveled very far, have you? But it looks completely different, and they're like Eastern Mordor now. So
yeah, they go from outside of Mordor to inside of Mordor really quickly, and you're just supposed to not notice that, because they even say, yeah, you're in the land of Rune, or you're approaching the land of Rune, but then Poppy's is like, oh yeah, but you've only gone a little 500 miles or something like that. Yeah, I was able to catch up to you so quickly.
Yeah, how the hell did she even catch up? How did she keep up? None of them have any packs, so they're scrounging off the land or scrounging off of the beetles that Gandalf can conjure, which is gross and
nasty.
Weird. Okay, fine. They're different creatures, and that's what they eat.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But we finally got to see the Rings of Power in action. And all is well, the story is over, the world is saved, and Lindon and the light of the Eldar shall not fade. Rage against the fading.
Rage against the fading. Yeah, Sauron has been defeated. We win.
Woo!
No need to watch the next 7 episodes, right? But in all seriousness, no, yeah, this episode has some weird shit. I mean, the one thing that they get right is Cirdan has a beard.
Congratulations.
That is it. That is the one thing in this episode they get right. Well, and then when younger Sauron is saying, I want to create a perfect order. Yeah, he wants to create his perfect order. You get 2 things right. Congratulations. But the rest of it, why are orcs able to ambush and kill the physical body of Sauron? Because he is a god. I mean, he's not capital G god, he is lowercase g god.
Still a god.
Yeah,
still far above dying from mere orc strikes.
Yeah. I mean, if the downfall of Numenor doesn't kill him when his physical body gets thrown into the abyss of the sea and his spirit rises, that's one thing. You're like, okay, shit, something really traumatic happened and I understand how he lost his physical body. But a buttload of orcs stabbing him to death. What? And it just happens so casually. He barely puts up a fight. He would be, why is he so small, A? Why is he on the same part? He would definitely be at least 5-10 feet bigger than them. He's not going to appear to orcs in his fair elf form. He's going to appear
I was wondering
in
about
his
that.
terrible...
Why he would be showing up like that. He's taking control over the lands and creatures of the fallen Morgoth.
Yeah.
Be evil. You are evil.
Yeah. You are evil. You are just going to do this. You are not going to give a speech saying, elect me, dear orclings. I am a benevolent dark lord.
Yeah, that was so funny. They have agency and decision it's a democracy. What?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
No, yeah, it's Sauron will show up and be like, no, you're doing what I say. No, I won't. Okay, you're dead. End of story. Next orc who wants to disobey me? You want to live? Yeah? All right, cool. Now let's go. So yeah, that happening. The fact that Morgoth's crown still exists. What? Because the Valar take Morgoth's crown, beat it around Morgoth's neck as a collar, and shove him through the doors of night. So why? Why does his crown still exist? Why is his crown tiny and could fit on the head of a mortal? Because Morgoth was a massive motherfucking creature. Really big, really tall. When, there's no point when Morgoth is a tiny little creature on par with a 5 to 7 foot mortal. Yeah, seriously, he's a massive creature. They're
gods, and he's God with a big G.
Yes.
Where Sauron's God with a little g.
Yeah.
Morgoth is God with a big G.
Yeah. So like Morgoth, or Sauron in his like proper form, towering over the orcs, is good. Now Morgoth in his proper form would be towering over Sauron even farther down and be looking back. Look at you, little peeny Pulian. So like that, yeah, like that makes no sense. I don't mind him like regenerating himself in that like little goo thing by taking other living organisms. I mean, like I mind it lore wise, but as a visual medium,
It's kind of cool. Yeah,
it's kind of cool. That is appreciatory. I don't understand why people think that you can flee from Middle Earth to Numenor, because what? Like, no, the Numenorians were never friendly. They never like just accepted caravan loads of ships. Like, come on over down to the middle of.
And just think about how much debate there was in the show about accepting Galadriel.
Yeah.
From the boat that brought her.
Yeah, it's just like you should have just left her into the sea. You should just cast her back.
Yeah.
And then Elendil has to do that stupid little phrase, "The sea is always right."
Which recently hasn't made an appearance, and not in the end of the episode or anything like that. We don't hear "the sea is always right" very often anymore. Not since like midway through.
You'll get there. You'll get there again when
we go back to Numenor.
Yeah. When certain really interesting things happen in Numenor, and you're really left scratching your head.
So what happened to change Círdan's mind? Like, he wanted to throw them overboard in a bay, not even that far out, but whatever, it's fine. Throws it out into the water, but then a rogue wave or creature bumps it and perfectly knocks the three rings back into the boat, and then it has that like
there's like
almost the ring music from Lord of the Rings coming, and then it cuts away. So what exactly? I mean, aside from the fact that he said pure perfection doesn't only exist in Valinor, implying that these rings are just as perfect as anything from Valinor.
Yeah, which is an interesting, I mean, like, that's also a real telling line, because even the Valar can't actually create the perfect home that they initially wanted to, because Morgoth marred it and destroyed it at the very beginning of time. Because I mean, that's the one thing, like when Círdan says, long ago there was a battle whose weapons were the very bones of the continent. That's actually true. The very first battle between the Valar and Morgoth is a battle of creation and destruction in Middle Earth. Like where the Valar raise mountains, Morgoth will freaking level them. Where the Valar fill oceans, Morgoth will empty them. So like that part is like correct in like the esoteric way of like how the very first confrontation happened. I just kind of interpreted like either like Iluvatar sent that wave to nudge Círdan's boat, so like the little pouch falls down into the boat and opens it up, and he can actually see the rings, and then he perceives a glimmer of like, oh wait, these aren't actually bad. Because Círdan, in this respect, yeah, he is the oldest, and I'm not gonna call him the wisest of elves, but he is extremely wise. I mean, he's been there since the beginning. He'll be there until the last elf sets sail for Valinor. That's his charge. Like he had many opportunities to leave, but he freaking realized that he needed to stay. Or was it Ulmo that actually told him he needed to stay? I think it was Ulmo actually told Círdan that he needed to stay. Either or. Let me know. You know who I'm talking to. But like I always just like either like it was either Iluvatar bumping the boat or like Ulmo bumping it or Manwë bumping it. Just be like, yes, you can't destroy these rings because plot reasons.
Yeah.
And also the three rings they're the last ones to be made, so the first 13 should be made, and then
this is not a new conception on Middle Earth.
Yeah. This is like the three elven rings are Celebrimbor's masterpiece. Like
he's done a bunch of other ones already, which is so funny that they just refuse. Like these are the penultimate, these are the ultimate rings that he's made.
Yeah.
It's the confluence of all of his skill and Sauron's craftsmanship all together into these three rings.
Yeah. And
even I know that's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's just really stupid and annoying. Him coming back and then just giving the rings to Gil-galad, and then Elrond saying no, and then Gil-galad drops two of them, and the
one bounces to Galadriel.
Yeah,
but then he has it back in his hand again perfectly as well. The next time it cuts to him.
Yeah, you don't even see him picking it up. It's just there, and
they're now perfectly cut gems as well. Even though I'm pretty sure at the end of season 1 they're uncut gems and they're already in their settings, which is weird. So I thought that uncut gems looked kind of janky.
Yeah.
So good on them for fixing that. I don't know why it ever needed to be fixed. Why would you put the uncut gems in there? It's supposed to be perfection.
Yeah.
Or was it a case of we don't know what the fuck we're doing and we're making up as we go along?
That.
Yes.
That definitely, yeah. Like why the great tree in Lindon suddenly starts glowing like it is one of the two trees of Valinor. It's like suddenly, oh, I'm Templarian.
I was expecting one of those like poof moments where like the light ring expands out like a bomb of light and healing. It was so cliche.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then Elrond gives her that look, and then just storms away.
Yeah, that's very sad. Actually, the fact that Elrond like jumps off into the river, off the waterfall when he
so dramatic.
At the very beginning, he's just like, I cannot give you the rings. Seize him, and then throws himself off. You're like, wait, what? Better hope that there's no rock down on that edge, because you can't see it. It's just a plume of water.
All that was missing was Tommy Lee Jones in the back looking down.
Yeah,
fugitive style.
Yeah, that actually would have been very funny. And then like Sauron or Halbrand going into Mordor, surrendering himself to Adar, getting beaten the shit out of.
To manipulate him to let his other Southland people go.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's doing that.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And then still BSing his way into getting released as well.
Yeah.
Unless he's just got some tongue action going. No pun intended.
Yeah, he's the
some
great
speech action. Let's put it that way.
He is the great deceiver. But why would you deceive Adar? Like, why would you go there? Why wouldn't you just kill Adar?
Why did Adar want to kill Sauron in the beginning anyway? And
because Adar wants his children to be free, and he doesn't want the orcs to fight.
It's only taken him 1,000 years to get to that point, apparently.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, like 1,000 or 2, however long this takes to thing.
Well, 1,000 years per inch, so 3,000 years. Boom.
Well, that's too long already.
Or is it 3 inches per 1,000 years? Who knows? It's magic. It's real time. No, jeez. It's Lord of the Rings.
It's trying to be.
It's trying to be Lord of the Rings, yeah, exactly. Speaking of trying to be Lord of the Rings, yeah, we've got the grub-eating Harfoot Wonder Twins back with Gandalf, doing God knows what, looking for his wizard staff, apparently, to help him focus, is what it appears to be in his dream. But, of course, he touches it and he sees visions, so who knows what that's all about. Sounds like some nonsense that doesn't need to be in here anyway.
No.
But it is, so,
You can cut the whole part with everything that happens in Rune with Gandalf, blank and blank, and then blank and blank, and then blank. I don't want to tell you exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But all the people I just mentioned can F off to high hell because they're just useless, shouldn't be there, and does nothing to the story.
So we've got par for the course again. The lore is all over the place. It's made up as they go along, as is the story, because it doesn't seem to have much focus. They're making up, the powers of the rings as well.
Yeah.
Just boom. You put them on and magic happens. That's neat. We're wasting time with proto-hobbits who eat bugs. We're wasting time with proto-Gandalf, who's lost. We haven't seen what's going on in Numenor, but Blind Queen is probably back, and Elendil is doing some things, and Isildur is apparently ostensibly running around in Mordor somewhere still. Because he's probably not dead. We see him later on in the story, if I remember correctly. Something happens to make sure that his lineage continues.
Something indeed. But yeah, for the most part, I would say
possibly a little bit better than season 1.
That's what I was gonna say. Like the pacing, more shit happens in this episode than 60% of the first 6 episodes.
Yeah, at least
of season
I
1,
wasn't
so
completely bored to tears. I was whelmed by the episode. Let's put it that way. It's right in the middle of the road. Like instead of being just, oh my god, there's still 50% of the episode left. It was watchable and enjoyable, even though that's a pretty large bar.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's not a great episode to start season 2 at. There's just too many weird things that happen that don't make sense, that you're just scratching your head at. Yeah, it's a middle of the road episode for sure. The one thing I will say, I do enjoy when Gil-galad is singing.
That was actually really neat.
That's
if that's his voice or someone else's, it was a neat song. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah,
that was kind of a cool, especially as this is our farewell. This is me telling you that we're leaving.
Yeah.
Because our light is fading on these shores. So it was kind of haunting. It was kind of neat. I do appreciate that.
Yeah. But he does say Lindon needs to go, which is all right, Lindon is not all elves. That kingdom does not incorporate every single elf. So they don't really, they don't ever tell you if it's just the Noldorian elves that would have to fuck off, if the Great Tree went, or if all elves would have to leave, which either or doesn't make sense, but at least give me an answer so I'm not left in this weird, fugue state of, shit, what's happening?
I'm imagining if someone watched this, let's say, as a prequel, I'm not going to watch the Lord of the Rings movies, I'm going to watch this first.
Oh.
how confusing it would be when you finally got to the Lord of the Rings and been like, wait, those are those people?
Yeah, it would be really hard to reconcile Galadriel, especially Rings of Power Galadriel, to Lord of the Rings Galadriel. I guess you might be able to reconcile Elrond, because Elrond is the only one who's showing a modicum of wisdom and farsightedness and strength and restraint. So I guess maybe he might be the one that you can be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And also, because, you know, he, you know, I mean, like with Gimli, you know, getting picked in the company, you know, the 9 walkers shall be set against the 9 riders, which are evil. That actually he's the only character who would play into that.
Actually makes sense.
Yeah.
But other than that,
else,
nothing seems to match up very well.
No, definitely not.
Well, we are excited to keep watching this and bringing you more in-depth lore versus story kind of stuff, because I'm learning about this. Hopefully you guys are learning about it. And
I'm just having fun.
Anything fantasy is fun to dive into, right?
Yes.
So thanks so much for tuning in.
If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe down below. Tell us what we got wrong. Tell us what we got right. And if you especially like this video, head over to our Patreon, where you can find exclusive content that will be coming up soon. And also give us money, because we are shameless grifters. And until next time, sayonara.